Once upon a time in ancient Greece, there was a king named Acrisius who had a daughter named Danae. One day, an oracle told King Acrisius that he would be killed by his grandson. Fearing this prophecy, the king locked Danae in a tower to prevent her from having any children. However, the god Zeus saw Danae and was struck by her beauty. He decided to visit her in the form of a shower of gold, and from this union, Danae became pregnant with a son whom she named Perseus. When King Acrisius found out about Perseus, he was angry and afraid. He locked Danae and Perseus in a chest and threw them into the sea. Miraculously, they survived and washed up on the island of Seriphos. On Seriphos, Perseus and his mother were taken in by a fisherman named Dictys. Dictys raised Perseus as his own son and taught him how to fish and fight. But Dictys's brother, the king of Seriphos, named Polydectes, had his eyes on Danae and wanted her to be his queen. Polydectes was cruel and made life difficult for Perseus and his mother. One day, Polydectes decided to hold a banquet and demanded that all of his subjects bring him a gift. Perseus had nothing to give, so Polydectes demanded that he bring him the head of the monster Medusa, a terrifying creature with snakes for hair whose gaze could turn people to stone. Perseus was terrified, but the goddess Athena appeared to him and gave him a shield to help him on his quest. She also told him to visit the Graii, 3 sisters who shared one eye and one tooth between them, to learn how to defeat Medusa. Perseus traveled to the Graii's cave and stole their eye, forcing them to tell him how to defeat Medusa. They told him to find the nymphs of the north, who would give him a magical sword, and to seek out the god Hermes, who would give him winged sandals and a cap of invisibility. Perseus completed his quest and defeated Medusa, using his shield to avoid her gaze and his sword to cut off her head. He then used Medusa's head to turn Polydectes and his supporters to stone. After his triumph, Perseus set out to find his true father, Zeus. He visited the kingdom of Atlas, who had once fought against the gods and was punished by having to hold up the sky. Atlas did not want to help Perseus, but when Perseus showed him the head of Medusa, Atlas was turned to stone and his burden was lifted. And so Perseus lived happily ever after as a celebrated hero and son of the mighty Zeus.